I'm going to talk about most of the dates I've been on. I can't remember them all. I have a few shocking ones I've been on. There were some strange and dangerous experiences. One guy I met on a dating site guy, his profile looked fine, but I met up with him, he had a disability. That was fine, but I wasn't attracted to him. He was clingy and didn't take care of his health. He drank lots of Red Bull and smoked cigarettes. He was nice though. He took me to a pub for food and the waitress was judgmental towards me. She thought I was taking advantage of him because of his disability, because he paid for my pizza. She put hardly any cheese on my pizza and gave me dirty looks. I knew what she was thinking. I met up with him because I'm a nice person and give everyone a chance. I just didn't feel a spark. He was already trying to trap me on the first date, because he wouldn't take me seriously when I said no to him asking me on another date. I felt awkward, so I had to walk away from that situation. It was just a date. Why do men get so attached just on the first date? I like men that take care of their health and don't smoke or drink Red Bull or alcohol. I also felt guilty for going on more dates with other men because I told him how I was struggling financially, and he gave me $200. I'm not the type of person to ask for money or take advantage of disabled people, especially because my own sister is in a wheelchair. That was one uncomfortable date for me. I felt relieved when I got home. I had to take a shower to wash off the bad negative energy that I absorbed from going on that date. I met a guy from a supermarket I worked at while I was working in the front-end department, on the registers. He seemed nice and he gave me his number. He came into the store with his dog in a trolley. I was so naive back then, and put myself into dangerous situations. The guy I met invited me to his house. It was so dodgy how he let me in through the garage. The house was empty and looked broken into. I think he was living there in someone's house illegally. I saw punch holes in the walls. The guy tried to take my car keys. Luckily God protected me. He started smoking pot and tried to make me smoke too. I felt so uncomfortable and tried to leave. As I was leaving, he tried to stop me and set his dog onto me. His dog was biting my arm. Luckily, I had a long sleeve jacket on. The guy locked the back door and was begging me to stay. I pushed my way out and made it to the back gate. As I was opening the back gate, he grabbed me and started hugging me and begging me for sex. I pulled away and tried opening the gate. The gate slammed shut by the wind. I eventually made it out of there and ran to my car and drove straight home to my old roommate's house. The guy got banned from coming into the shopping center, also because it's against the store policy to bring dogs into the store as well. I met a guy from a dating app. He was okay, but I wasn't attracted to him. He didn't take care of himself. I think he liked cows a bit too much. It creeped me out. He was a mummy's boy. He had a truck with a caravan set up on it which he built. He lived in the truck. He was late to our first date, and he made me pay for stuff too. He doesn't take his wallet with him anywhere. He wanted to marry me on our first date. He was so clingy and even told me a sob story and cried on our first date. We spent our date just chilling in the shade under a tree. He wanted to drive my car, but I said no to him. I didn't trust him, and I didn't like him. We went to the Dandenong 1000 steps on the rainforest walking track. We walked along a few beaches too. I liked the adventures we went on, they were fun. He guilt-tripped me into going on more dates with him. I felt embarrassed being seen next to him though. He smelled and he had dried up white saliva around his mouth. He started telling people at shops who worked there that I was his girlfriend even though I never said I was. He just assumed. I said I'm not his girlfriend, and he just laughed. Then the shop workers asked if we were brother and sister then. I'm not sure where the conversation was going, but it felt weird. The lady in the shop was treating me funny for being with him. I could feel her energy judging me. He was embarrassing me because he was kind of bogan. He did look like my oldest brother, which was so weird. The only way I could leave him, before I got in too deep, was to just block him. He was good at manipulating me to date him. Before I blocked him, we went to a secluded spot somewhere. He parked his truck on a paddock next to cows and I parked far away, but near a road. I asked God to protect me because I had a bad feeling being there that night. I ended up having guilt sex with him because he was manipulative. He kept talking about cows. It was a huge turn off and I felt sick in my stomach because he was obsessed with them. I decided to walk to my car. Luckily, I left when I did because some teenage boys were trying to break into my car. I yelled for the guy to come help me, which he did. He scared the boys away. He also used that to try and make me stay with him, because he said I need a man to protect me. I felt disgusting in myself for having guilt sex and I went home to my old roommate's house. And I just had a long shower to wash away all the negative feelings and gross mental thoughts. I blocked him, totally cut him off. He probably deserved closure, but I couldn't deal with talking to him again. I had to experience this to learn to say no when I'm being manipulated. If I could go back in time, I wouldn't even go on a second date at all. In fact, I would leave as soon as he made me pay for stuff. I'm not a pushover. There was another guy I met at work. He was a customer who came through my register a lot. He became possessive with me after I sewed him pockets in some shorts because I told him about my alteration business I had. We went for a drive in our own cars to some mountains, which the location was in a spot where we could see the whole of Melbourne from up there. I told him up front that we are just friends and were not on a date. At that time the pandemic was going on and I ended up having severe anxiety being away from home. We went to the botanic gardens nearby, but I couldn't stay long. I was going into a panic. The guy had to go grab some water for me because I was about to have a severe anxiety attack. He was also triggering my anxiety because he was telling me about our whole future together even though we weren't even dating. We just went to the mountains as friends. He got offended when we went to a cafe at the mountain we went to because I bought my own drink. I said we are just friends, so I'll pay for my own. He never actually asked me out, so why would he be offended when I just said the truth? I wasted so much time with the wrong type of men. Guys had a huge ego and had the audacity to claim me without asking me out. I can't tolerate men like that anymore. When I moved to the other side of Melbourne, I was struggling to survive, which I go into later. I made a comment on a post on Facebook. It was a political post. He saw my comment, then stalked my FB page. He saw that I was struggling financially, and he saw that none of my family or friends cared about me, so he felt generous. Or he saw me as an opportunity to control me because I was vulnerable. He messaged me and he insisted to send me money. He sent me money, and then he wanted me to drive to his house to meet him. He lived 2.5 hours away, so he paid for my petrol too. I had nothing to lose, so I went to his house. As soon as we met, he wanted me to move in with him. I said no, we just met. He was like the truck guy because he was emotionally attached to me straight away. We went to a water reserve together. I was not attracted to him. I learned from the past experiences to say no to guilt **X. He tried to get some, but we went and got pizza, then I felt uncomfortable and drove home. He reminded me of my dad because he had a bad sciatic nerve, weird twitches from nervous system issues, and spoke his mind without thinking. He was like a clone of Dad, just in a different body. He kept talking about his ex all the time too. That is a huge turn off for me. After I went home, we still texted because I was so alone, and he was helpful to me. He really wanted more with me. I was repulsed by his desperateness. We kind of trauma bonded, which I've now learnt is a bad idea, because then it's harder to escape a situation without feeling guilty. I just needed someone to talk to and to feel safe. He played mind games which I hated. For example, he would text me saying he will come to meet up with me. He apparently drove 2.5 hours to see me. He stood me up. He said he was coming to see me. He drove all the way to the shops near me apparently. So then I text him back saying I'm on my way to meet up with him at the shops. He texted me back saying he's driving home because it's late. After that I blocked him on everything. When my birthday came, he sent me money for my birthday. I unblocked him to say thank you, but he was being manipulative, so I blocked him again. There was a guy from a chicken shop I was working at, the manager's brother, who has his own car cleaning business. He was so good looking, and I felt nervous when I saw him. He was flirting with me at the kitchen area in the chicken shop when no one else was around. I found out he was married. I said I don't mess with married men. He was so hot though, and he came over to my house, lying to his wife about cleaning my car. He came over originally because he wanted help setting up a drop shipping website. That's what I thought his intentions were. I betrayed my morals and self-respect by messing with a married man. I discovered he was gay as well, and he was just using me to use my toys in him. He kept telling me his fantasies about naked men and having them do things to him. I never even got fully naked because he wasn't really interested in women. He told me how he would do an enema and how he enjoyed doing them when his wife wasn't home. When we messed around with each other, he gave me a disgusted look after he was done doing his thing. I'm not sure if he felt guilty or thought I was unattractive. I asked him and he said he didn't mean anything by it. Anyway, he came over maybe 2 more times for me to help him with the toys so he can get used to men's parts in him. I was doing him a favor, I guess. I just thought he was hot, so I wanted to help him. I felt really disgusted in myself and stopped him coming over. A month later he came to the gym, where we both went to at the time, and started talking to me. I said I stopped talking because I don't want to mess with married men, and I felt dirty, disgusting and extremely guilty. I can't believe I lowered myself to that. In his culture being gay is unacceptable by his religion. I feel sorry for his wife. I asked him if he told his wife what we did, and he said he never will tell her anything. I feel like I must live with guilt. All I can do is forgive myself every day and hope his wife finds someone better. I think they must stay together because of their culture though. I think God has forgiven me for my sins. I have asked for forgiveness. I went on a few more random dates after that experience, guys from a dating app. One of the guys were okay, but we weren't sexually compatible. We tried 3 or 4 times, but it just didn't work with us. I said, we should just be friends then, but he was persistent and wanted to try again, but I didn't want to. Then he turned aggressive because I also told him to go home. He slammed my front door yelling at me saying, no wonder you can't find a boyfriend. After that date, I went on other dates, including the guy who cheated on me who I cleaned his house for. We were not sexually compatible either. Every date just got worse and worse, so I deleted the dating app because I was disappointed in men. I had a realization that maybe God didn't want me to date. God was pushing me into isolation. He is probably working behind the scenes to align me with the perfect guy for me.